All right, for tonight's shave, we have this B5 knot from Declaration Grooming, and it's in a 24 millimeter handle. And I'm going to set it to soak. This is just how I prefer to get my badger brushes wet before a shave. You can just kind of run water through them and just let them sit. All right. Today, because today was a Ask Me Anything on Reddit for a great guy who's been servicing the community regarding straight razors for a long time. And I, in fact, got this one from him. This is my Klas Tornblom. I could be massacring how to pronounce that. But it's like, you know, from over in Europe. And it's very good steel. And I'm the first one to use it. It is an old stock from a very long, decades and decades ago. And it was just found, and he gave it an edge and sent it to me. And so I'm happy to use it. I've used it once already. That was my 4th straight razor shave. So today's my 5th. And so don't pay too much attention to don't try to model my technique. I'm just trying to learn and get better. So the brush is going into this soap tonight. Grooming department, Mallard. And I've had grooming department soaps before, maybe 2 of them I've tried, and they've just been excellent. Good face feel afterwards. Obviously some, you know, butters and oils in there that will help you if that is an issue for you. It's not so much for me. I have oily skin. But the performance has just been great. The slickness of the lather is wonderful. This one is definitely my favorite scent of theirs, and I really like the way this is coming dry out of the tub. It is a used puck. I don't know, maybe halfway used already. But holy cow, I'm a big sandalwood fan, and it really seems like an authentic sandalwood fan. And sandalwood is a major player in this profile. I don't really care that it's an essential oil or a pure oil, because that actual real oil is very expensive. As long as it's synthetic, I don't care. I just like the scent. And but this has a mix of sandalwood. I looked on trythissoap.com. I can't remember what it is specifically, but chocolate, ginger, some spices, coffee, and vanilla are also in the mix here, along with the sandalwood. And I can kind of see how each one of them is in there. And it's amazing how they're all working together, and they're all in that same family. I would have never guessed it. This is catching me by real surprise. I just smelled it for the first time, knowing the scent profile 10 minutes ago. I really, really like it from the tub. I have no idea if it's going to keep that scent as it gets wet and as it turns into a lather. So we'll see. Grooming department, Mallard. They sometimes have inventory issues because it's a small company and they produce good soaps. A lot of people like it. They buy it and then the inventory's gone. I mean, 1 or 2 guys can only make soap so fast, right? So sometimes when you can get it on the used market, it's a good deal. All right. I told you about everything, so let's roll. Get my face wet. All right. So I'm going to take the Mallard. Man, what a good scent. This is another one of those cases, I believe, where the scents are working so well together that it's one of those greater than the sum of its parts kind of scenarios where they just blend effortlessly together, that it becomes something totally new that is just exactly that. All right, so I'm going to shake most of the water out of this brush, and I think we'll do a 30-second load. That's going to be in 3 seconds, and it'll be easy to have to stop at the 5-minute mark for this. This soap is a little on the soft side, so 20 seconds maybe all we need to load instead of 30, but just to be on the safe side. So there's 15. I'll let you even see how it's going. 20 seconds. 5 seconds more. and stop. So that's what we're left with. As long as you use the same swirling pressure and frequency, just pick a natural swirling motion, I think is my opinion, then I think that lets the timing be an accurate thing for you for any particular soap. And so if you write it down, or if you have a lot of soaps, or if you just memorize it if you only have a few soaps, then I think that's a good way. Some people memorize the look of it when it starts to look a certain way. Well, I've got too many soaps to do that, and they're all different. So I just use a timing method. You could count rotations. I don't want to do that. I'd rather just, look at my clock. All right, so that's how it looks. And I'm sure it'll be plenty. Sorry. Lather bowl. Nice. I normally don't like scents that are super coffee oriented, but this one's not. I can tell it's in there. I might not be able to pick it out if I didn't know it was in there. We'll just see. I'm excited about what this is going to smell like. Once it's lathered, I hope it stays true to what I just smelled from the tub, but sometimes they don't, and that's okay. Not adding any water, just going off the water that was in the brush. Some soaps, you need to do that before you start adding water. Mystic water is one of the most notable ones that you need to do something like this with. Come in with a lightly wet brush and then start mixing before you start adding water, and you'll get then start slowly adding water, and you'll get this amazing lather. It is an underrated soap that is tremendous. This lather. There's another note coming in. I don't know what it is yet. Can't identify it. All right, you probably noticed the rubber bands around the brush here, the brush knot. That is because I believe that I have this knot set a little too high. And so instead of yanking it and then drilling the hole deeper, I'm testing it, seeing what kind of depth I might like it to be with the rubber band. Another thing to know is that when you're shaving with a straight, you really, really need it to be super slick. And most of the time that means adding a little bit more water than you usually do with double-edged razors. Almost a little over 1.5 teaspoons of butter has been added. I also chose a specific brush. I've got one that I've been working. I want to soften the tips, and so I want to kind of use it a lot, rake it over the towel here after each shave, get it really wet, soak those tips to see if I can get them to soften up. And I chose not to use that one for the fact that it is a little on the prickly side right now, and a straight razor shave may just be one where I don't want any prickle. I don't want any brush burn. I want very soft tips to treat my skin well, just in case my inexperience at the straight razor gives me my skin a little too much tenderness. Let's do a finger test on this one. That's probably ready to go. Take a look at it, show you. I'm going to pull kind of half of it out, and just we can look at the peaks and see what happens. So you have a nice long peak on the top part. It's a little bit elastic and flimsy, still holding up pretty well. Smaller peak on the bottom that's pretty rigid. Do it again. You see even less of a peak there. I think I'm going to add a little bit more water because we need a lot of hydration with the straights. You know, it's almost like there's an aquatic coming through. Has my nose gotten used to the sandalwood and all those other scents that are in there that I so enjoyed in the dry form? They're just not as strong. They've gotten really weak. Dang it. Well, let's just see how it smells during use. The first pass is going to be the roughest pass with the straight, at least with me in my current learning stage. It's been very tuggy. Oh, I forgot to go strop my... Okay. It was okay that I didn't strop my blade before the use last time, because it was my first use of it, and you don't want to strop it once you get it from a hone person. But I need to go strop it. I'm going to have to put you on pause. Go take care of that on a leather strop. I think it's 40 to 60. I can't remember what it is. Up and down is one lap, if you will, one run, and about 40 to 60 of those before the shave. Kind of helps to align those tiny metal bits along the edge, microscopic type orientation. All right, there we go. That just took about 4 minutes, and I'm a newbie stropper. Okay, I did about 50 laps up and back, and it helps to maintain that edge, so it doesn't take very long. You do that before each shave, and this guy's ready to go. So we've taken care of that. If you're new to everything, the biggest thing I can tell you is that when you're stropping, think this is the spine, the back of the razor here, and this is what always stays on the leather. So if my finger is the strop, of course it's a short one, the spine stays on, you go that way, you always go backwards, you never go forwards, and when you get to the top, you roll it over the spine and then come back this way. Roll it over the spine and come back that way. That's the action that you do. Go slow at first, and I don't know too much, but I know that. And I'm taking my time so that I don't scratch up and tear up my strop. And so now this guy is ready to go. And with just stropping alone, if you've had the edge honed and beveled by someone who's qualified, then you should be able to get, I think it's about 3 to 4 or 5 months out of a blade. All right, before you have to send it back to get it rehoned, or hone it yourself with a stone like in the 12,000 range, 12,000 grit range. All right. Okay, so we've got the lather. There he is. Splash my face with some water. All right. Looks like a ton of lather. Yeah, some of that scent is coming back, so that's good. It's definitely on the thin side, and I think that'll work out well for this particular shave. Since, take down my notes on the scent. I want to make sure I mentioned those because I find it very interesting. How they combined all those different scents. Just a well thought out scent profile. Now my shave yesterday was pretty tuggy on the first pass, but it's a manly tuggy because I'm using a freaking straight razor. All right. Also, keep water far away from this hinge. You don't want to get water in there and have things rust. All right. This time I'm going to try to see if I get a little better shave on my cheeks by lifting up, because that's what pretty much everybody recommends. About a 30-degree angle. I'm watching the tip of the razor to see how close it gets to my ear. Well, this is going nicely. Wow, that's comfortable. That's not tuggy at all. How about that? Am I just not cutting? It looks like I'm cutting. Maybe that's why it was tuggy, because I wasn't doing the right thing. I wasn't lifting up and pulling on my skin a little bit, because I'm a chunky dude. I've got some cheeks and some skin. Wow, that was nice. Since my hand was up there, I figured I might as well keep on going down. If you're a beginner, one piece of wisdom that a lot of people say, I seem to be violating it because it seems to work for me, is to just do your cheeks. It's the simplest, it's the easiest part. I'm going to go ahead and switch my hands because I want to learn with my left hand as well how to do it. So, now the one problem with us glasses wearers is when you pull up on that part, your glasses kind of don't sit right anymore. Again, I'm watching my ear to make sure the toe of that blade doesn't slice up my ear. All right. Changing my blade angle to be more compatible with the curvature of my neck. This is nice. Much more comfortable than the other day when I did not stretch my skin. Nice. Wow. Oh, now what am I going to do right here? I think I often will get a little bit of irritation if I start here and move this way. With the DE safety razor, I have learned to start on the outside and come in. So let's try that with this. One of the things you can do is hold the grip like that, I've heard and seen on various YouTube videos. So let's give that a shot. There we go. Oh, little trim areas right next to my... I don't know if what I'm doing is the best way to trim that area. I'm just trying it. All right, carefully close the razor and rinse. This is slicker than I've taken grooming department before, but I think it's working out. I think it's working out since it's a straight. I did not feel any irritation or cuts. Sometimes a cold water rinse between passes is a diagnostic tool as well, because it is technically an astringent and it can help reveal some of the nicks that you might have. All right, so the scent, I am getting that nice scent that I was hoping to get. The sandalwood. Nice soft tips. Glad I picked this brush for the reason I shared already. Scent strength, out of 10. 3 or 4. Not super strong, but it is pleasant and present during the shave. Also, this lather sat here for the, 4 or 5 minutes that I was away. It's dropping, and so it held up just fine. So it's not one of those that's going to dry out on you. So it's well constructed. All right, carefully. Now, as you can see, this is the grip I'm using. 2 fingers up here, 1 back here, thumb on the bottom. It is tricky because my glasses are keeping me from really being able to see. Man, that's comfortable. Slow over near the ear. So I was mentioning that, you can, when the razor is, when leather stropping is no longer effective between your passes, between your shaves, that like 4 or 5 month period, then one of the simplest things to do, especially when you're a beginner, is just to send it in and have somebody hone it for you. Because then that lets you, each time if it's a reputable person, each time that when you start, that's how it should feel. Then later on, if you choose to enjoy the hobby and you want to go ahead and buy your own 12K stone, or I think that might be the right grit, then you're in good shape, because now you know how it feels when it's done right. And then that refreshing stone, that 12K, I think an 8K will work, but a 12K is nicer. That can be all you need for the rest of your life, because you just refresh the edge, the bevel stays true, and you're just using that every 5 months, and then you're good for the rest of your life. No blades to buy, just a razor to enjoy. If you booger it up, then maybe you send it in and have it honed again and have the bevel reset. All right. I'm a very moldy person. And I do have a couple in the shavable areas that are very inconvenient. This is comfortable. It's not irritating at all. I don't feel like I'm scraping my face off or anything like that. And it makes you feel like a freaking dude. All right. You know, would it be interesting to have a shirt? I was thinking about, what if I use my shirt instead of the water rinse and just kind of dropped the soap off onto my shirt. And then at the end, you know, throw your shirt in the wash. All right, rinse time. So before I rinsed, I did feel a little bit of tenderness, but the cool water rinse really helped to calm it down and make it feel better. So let's take a look at the result. Pretty good, really. Well, let's just go ahead and do another pass just for grins. All right, let's do it. So I do think that this particular soap is my favorite from the grooming department, though I haven't tried too many, just tried a few. But I really do like this one. I've got After the Fire as well. I just got that in, and looking forward to trying that one. All right, yep, I'm really glad I picked that brush. Those nice smooth tips. Serving me well, not giving me any kind of brush burn. I do want to take a second to tell you, if you're considering straight razor shaving, there are so many bad ones on eBay and online that you need to do your good research to find out which ones are good and which ones are not. They even look like razors, but they are just not. Like the steel is just of such poor quality that it doesn't hold an edge like it should, and so then you're never able to get that excellent edge that cuts hair well. Gold dollar, usually not really a good option. I believe that's the name of the one that's kind of popular right now. All right. I heard one say, if your hands are slippery when you're trying to hold your skin like this, you can wet an alum block and rub your fingers on it, and it helps give you grip. Never really had that problem. Just wanted to pass it on. I'm not even going to get too close to down here. Yeah, that's out of my shaveable area anyway, right there. So how's that cut? There's a few little hairs there, but I'm going to leave them. I don't want to agitate and stir up things, cause problem for later shaves, because right now I'm just a trainee. I need to have a big old trainee name tag on my razors, on the straights at least. Double edge shaving, like I've been doing for a long time, is a very good preparation to straight razor shaving, because you learn lather, you learn to make a good lather, Most importantly, perhaps for straight razor shaving, is you learn the direction of the growth of your hairs and you learn what strokes are the best. And that can come into very good help when you are dealing with a straight. You know your strategy and your mistakes to directions to avoid. This was a very comfortable shave, and it's a pretty reasonable one. I think I do see a few red areas where, you know, maybe I was moving too fast, but holy cow, this is the third pass. I really felt like I could go pretty quick. So that's pretty cool. Kind of had to resist the temptation sometimes just to stay under control and not get ahead of myself. So, nice. Really happy with this one. All right, very careful with it in the bathroom. I'm not handling it with wet hands. Putting away carefully. Don't want to drop that and hurt the blade. My toes would heal up, right? but I don't want to mess up the blade. All right, rinse away here. All right, so it's really cool. 5th double-edged shave ever. The face feels great. I got 3 passes in. No bleeders. Not even this guy that I opened up the other day. All right. Quantity of lather left over. Really, 30 seconds was definitely the right way to go. I like having a little bit left over. And if I was double-edged shaving, then I would use this probably as my neck-only pass. And that would have just been perfect. So it looks like grooming department is a 30-second load for me for this brush. All right, and that's a good looking lather that held up for a while without any problems. Didn't get dried out or anything like that. And happy with this brush. This the way this rubber band is set, the loft, I'm really liking that so far. Very nice. The lightly wet brush went into the load for 30 seconds, and then I ended up using almost 3 teaspoons of water. So that gives you a baseline just in case you might like to try your hand. My water is hard, so that could come into play in terms of lather building if you have nicer, softer water. It'd be easier for you to build up a lather with that usually. Hey, here's a little tip. I found a toothbrush travel container and I'm using that to hold my straight. Pretty cool. So I want to clean up my tools. Face feels great still, and but I do see a few little red areas. So I'll use a balm instead of an aftershave type splash with alcohol in it. Use a balm to help everything. And let's use this one. That's pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. Nivea post shave. The sensitive version. The sensitive one doesn't have any alcohol. I've got oily skin, and so I don't need a superb balm. I saw online how somebody was using this one, and they had dry skin, and it did not hydrate all day for them. And so they had to kind of question and ask around for something that performed a little better. But for me, it works really well, and it's nice for the budget too. If you have average skin or a little bit of oily skin like me, then this will work well for you. It's available pretty much everywhere. Drugstores, Walmart, all that. Amazon as well. Usually it's about $5.50 in all the locations. With Amazon, you might have to buy 3, but it still ends up to be about $5.50 or so each one. All right, so that'll help my face out, and I'm gonna clean up. All right, as I check everything out, the quality of the shave is reasonable. There are definitely patches where it's not as close as I usually get with the DE. However, there are not any patches of blood. There's not a general feeling or even any specific irritation areas. And it's a reasonable shave. I believe I could no problem get away with going to work with this shave and would not receive any type of comments at all. And so that makes it a win since I'm so early in my straight razor shaving experience. So I'm happy, very happy with that. Very happy with the grooming department. The shave, the lather went really well. The pulling up, strangely enough, so many straight razor shavers do that, and that is why it gave me such a better cut, a better experience, a better feel on my cheek than I got before when I didn't do that. So there you go, lesson learned. And I mean, if you want to go ahead and get have that tuggy sensation, then you can, if you don't really feel like doing the monkey reach. But very comfortable when I did it. Happy with the closeness. I even this tough area under next to my Adam's apple, in this concave area, got done just about as good as I do with a double-edged razor, and so that's really interesting and cool. I played it safe a little bit with my Adam's apple. The cut here is not awesome, but that's a convex area, so I didn't want to tweak it too much, overwork a hilly kind of area, kind of like the jawline is a hilly area as well. Didn't want to overwork those areas, so I just left that one alone. And the post shave went just fine with the balm. It's calming anything I had down. Face feels great. The brush did really well, and I think I'm really happy with that loft. So now I have to go and measure what that is, so I can start looking for a handle that has that loft, or figure out what kind of drilling rig I need to do to make that existing handle have that loft as well. All right, well, I hope there was something here for you. Take care. Have a really good night. I am Sugar Daddy Shaves.